Many of my cousins went to school in Cabarrus County, and I, on the other hand, went to school in Mecklenburg County. And it was difficult because, one, we missed each other. One of my cousins who just called me just now, we missed each other. They experienced some tension because they had to drive past schools during segregation. They had to drive past schools to go to a school that accepted them in Concord, which was deeper into Cabarrus County. So thinking about their plight and how that worked, yeah, that was difficult because we all wanted to be together, but we knew we couldn't, but then they couldn't go to the community school because of what they looked like. So knowing that was difficult. The feelings that you experienced from that was difficult. And it still rings true today. When I think about it, it almost makes me tear up because that was an experience they didn't have to have. But because of the simple-mindedness and the one-mindedness of some, they had to endure that. And several of my cousins have written stories about their experience in the high school in Cabarrus County. But we faced the same thing in Mecklenburg County. In my later years, I worked for a prominent company here in Mecklenburg County, in fact, a broadcast company. And I met a woman there whose son was my age. And we compared notes about his experience versus my experience. She's Caucasian. Interestingly, they're all passed away now. But we compared notes about his experience and my mother's experience compared to her experience raising a child in Mecklenburg County school system during those days.
So the contrast.
The contrast, yeah. It's very different, and many of the children, the Caucasian children in Mecklenburg County, didn't understand the reference to privilege because we could use that reference. They didn't understand that reference. So there was a lot of conversation about that, the contrast, and why it is that what are we arguing about? These children just want to go to school and learn. And their families just want them to go to school and learn. But that was traumatic for a lot of people. And in her case, the woman that I met in my workplace after all those years, it was very traumatic for him. He never got over it. Or it took him, I shouldn't say never, I don't really know never, but it took him a long time to get over the fact that there were children in the school where he was going that were different from him. And she expressed to me how in her growing up, she had friends that were different from herself, but her family didn't encourage those friendships. Where in my case, my family encouraged those friendships, but there were plenty of people who just didn't accept it. So yeah, it was difficult and it was traumatic.